of issues within the ANC Youth League. So in response to this interview we did, the revived ANC Youth League movement's concerns, we have on the line from the ANC Youth League, the Secretary General, Njabulo Nzuza. Thanks for joining us, SG. It's good to have you on Morning Live.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to all the viewers at home.
No doubt you listened to the interview with one of your disgruntled members, someone who you say isn't a member, but he says he is a member. What is your response to the allegations?
Well, we have not said they are not members. What we have said is that they are not leadership of any structures within the organization. And the fact that they are not leaders does not mean that we must not listen to them or hear their views. It is unfortunate that when we sent one of our NEC members to go and listen to them, they chased her away and said they did not want anyone from the ANC Youth League. But in any way, we will listen to their content.
Yeah. So one of the big issues is that they're saying that the elective conference should have been held, which it should have been held in September last year. Financial constraints have been the reason that the ANC Youth League have said you haven't had this elective conference. Do you think that's a good enough reason? Because, you know, it seems as though you're operating outside of your mandate time.
Well, the first thing that I must explain that it was not just the issue of the financial constraints, but there was a decision taken to halt congresses in the Youth League and also conferences in the ANC to make sure that we focus on the election work that was ahead of us. And that is why we had to crisscross the entire country to work hard for elections. But I must also indicate that historically, it is not the first time that the Youth League is in such a situation. You had an election of the ANC Youth League leadership in 2004, which was supposed to exit in 2007, but a Congress was only called in 2008. That was the Congress that elected the then President Julius Malema, which elected only officials. Because you must understand that in the Youth League, the term of office is very short, and in between there will be activities that might take priority. And it is not our intention to stay long in the office. I don't think that we want to hold the young people of this country at ransom. All that we are saying is that there is a transition period that has now come by, and we must now deliver a Congress and go and account for all the 5 years, for all the 3 years that it has been in office, so that we can answer some of the questions that these disgruntled members are raising in a proper platform of the organization and report to them properly and account on our activities, not to exit the office through a back door as if we are now running away from being accountable.
Yeah. You know, this again looks to factionalism. It talks to factionalism more than anything right now, because it appears that, yes, they are members. There are now divisions within the ANC Youth League, very much so what appears to be happening within the mother body, the ANC. Is the ANC Youth League divided? Is it on the edge at the moment?
Well, we are going to a Congress, and yesterday day before yesterday, we issued communication to all our structures to start setting up the machinery towards the Congress. In March already, we had already asked our structures to consolidate membership, and they've done so. I've been receiving a lot of calls from regional structures that they are ready, they want us to come and audit so that they can sit their regional congresses. We obviously, when going to Congress, there will be divergent views. Others, they will express them within structures. Others will go outside the structures and make a lot of noise. And we encourage members that they must, whatever they do, they must bring it within the organization so that they can help the organization and not express and not expose the organization to ridicule of opposition. Whatever dissatisfaction they have, there are ways to raise them. You know, we are open. Our numbers are on Facebook. If Congress want to call us, they can call us. Some of them, you know, are actually very ununderstanding why they will go to media, whereas they have my number. I mean, Makomboti is a product of SABC. He was once the president of SABC. Yes, he has not played much of a role in the Youth League, and I think we must teach him more around the Youth League issues. But he's got my number. He can call me and raise concerns.
Yeah.
We can down and resolve them.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure he'd like to call you, he'd like to talk to you, but they feel like their voices are not being heard. In fact, they go further to say that you, as leadership, are doing everything in your power to stay in leadership and not allow new young blood to come in and take over. He even alleges that in certain areas and wards around the country, you will not allow new members to join the ANC Youth League because this might destabilize you as leaders. What is your response to that?
I don't think that is correct. If he says he's a member of the Youth League and he has not been denied, membership himself of the Youth League, then, I don't understand where he's coming from. But it's okay. If there are issues, we normally, when going to Congress, we even set up dispute resolution committees where people can go and complain around issues of gatekeeping, and we go and address. Maybe he had written to me or called me and said, look, there is an area where there is gatekeeping. We have intervened, and address those issues. But all in all, this is a transition period. Structures are already in motion to go and seek a Congress. We encourage them to participate. Instead of being on the streets and marching, they must go and participate in their own structures. If you're a member of a branch, go to your branch, participate, get your views out there, go to regional congresses, go to provincial congresses, and participate in the life of the movement. Do not stand outside of the movement and start shooting, bullets towards your own house. A good son and a good child is a child that does not stand out of their house and throws a petrol bomb inside, hoping for destruction.
Yeah, I might have to dispute you on that one. I think a good child or a good son is someone that knows what ethical leadership is all about, and that's something that we need to bring into as well. The rules state that a leader cannot be older than 35. You yourself is older than 35. Colin Maina is older than 35. Your time has expired. And don't you think that it is right that they have a voice to speak out and talk about this?
Obviously, they have voice to speak out. They can speak out, but we discourage distraction. That's what we discourage. And I must be clear at the end, there is no intention, and I must say again, for us to stay longer in office. There is absolutely no intention. But do we honestly say that, had we said, because now I'm turning 36, and it is on the eve of elections and we can't go to a Congress, we're just supposed to vacate the Youth League and leave it alone. I don't think that we should have done that. We should have been responsible to carry the Youth League up until we deliver it to a Congress, and that is what we are planning to do. Another issue that is a misconception is that the meeting that is sitting today, the meeting was planned. And I wrote a letter to the ANC to request that they sent their team that they had allocated to us so that we can sit with them and brief them on development and get them to be infused in the structures of preparation for Congress so that they assist us, as it is always been known.
Yeah. The reality is that many people fear, and I think that it's a valid case, that when we saw these elections, and you were yourself speaking to how the Youth League, you were out and about in the country trying to canvass votes for the ANC, and the youth are the most disgruntled members of our society right now. They feel that the government is doing nothing for them. They feel that they do not have a voice. Now you, the ANC Youth League, should be that voice, and yet many are saying you are not. You have lost focus of what you should be doing for the youth of this country. What are you doing for the youth?
Well, let me firstly say, Leanne, for the first time in the history of South Africa, which has never happened before, is that government has issued circulars to say that they are scraping experience for entry-level positions. And that is something that we raise as the ANC Youth League as part of a broader program to ensure that young people get access to jobs. We raise the issue of youth representation not only in the structures of the ANC, but we want to see that happening even in the corporate sector. What I can say, Leanne, is that we have paid less attention to media and paid more attention in ensuring that we delete substantive issues. When we talk about the issue of expropriation of land without compensation, our forebearers who came before us, they had raised the issue. But I think the tactics of fighting the ANC did not work. We went in and we lobbied the ANC Those who were there at Nazareth will remember how hard the ANC Youth League fought. So we have been there. Currently, we have a number of young people who are now in representation of the ANC, through the policy that we had there. And most people say, no, this policy was designed for certain people. But if you look across the country, if you look at the Eastern Cape, some of those people are not even leaders of the ANC Youth League, but they are there because we're not fighting for leaders of the ANC Youth League. Yeah. But for million years, we could have done more in certain areas where we're not perfect. And also, they say the Youth League is a preparatory school, and those who come after us will obviously have to also up the bar and do a bit more. But we have played our part. We have tried our best, and now it is time for us to hand over the organization to its custodians, the young people of this country.
Well, it certainly would appear that way, because it seems that interests are going to be within the ANC Youth League very little at this moment, because a lot of your leadership have been deployed to Parliament. Some are now deputy ministers. We've even seen a lot being deployed as MECs. So nobody really is there operating within the ANC Youth League. When are you going to have this conference that you're talking to? I believe that you said it'll be in 3 months' time, but people say that's impossible. There's nobody in the Youth League running it right now.
Yeah, it is not impossible, Leah. Look, we have been setting all the basic machinery in action whilst we're dealing with our elections campaign, as in making sure that we have recruitment and making sure that we consolidate membership. Now it is an issue of sitting BGMs. And BGMs, I can tell you, those who are in the life of the movement, they know that you do not sit one BGM a day in the region. You actually sit mainly because you will have a number of REC members. But we understand that it is contestation times, and there will be different tactics that will be used for every person to get recognition. But in September, we are going to sit Congress. We have finalized the timelines which we are presenting today to the ANC team that is helping us prepare for Congress. And once they are adopted by Monday, we've indicated to all our structures, we'll send them. We are looking at the end of August as the last date to hold provincial executive congresses where they are due. The other issue that I must explain here is that in the Youth League, the term of office of an REC, of a regional executive committee is very short. So you will obviously indicate that from last year to this year have some of them lapsing their mandate because of the issue of age, which is something we need to deal with in the organization. But we are going to do our best to make sure that we deliver a Congress, and I guarantee you, we will not face. Even right now, I'm telling myself, we're going to the office to work on this issue of the Congress. The Youth League, we love the Youth League, we've been in the Youth League. The Youth League made us who we are today. Not our intention to kill it. We want to revive it and hand it over to its rightful owners, the young people of this country.
Just wrap it up and very quickly for me. Are you meeting with the Secretary General of the ANC today, Ace Magashule? He said that he has expedited this issue and wants to get it resolved. What is the process today?
Well, one thing I must explain again is that we requested this meeting because of part of our schedule towards the Congress. It's not as if because there were people marching, then therefore there has been an urgent meeting called. This has been a standing meeting since last week. We requested this meeting. We'll meet with them, finalize the issue of deadlines, issue deadlines by Monday. After that, we will then visit all provinces to sit the regional chairs and secretaries forum. After that, they will be sitting BGMs already, which we have said they must start sitting. After BGMs, we will then, by the end of July, have concluded all regional congresses, and then by August, all provincial congresses, and then have the Congress in September.
All right. We leave it there. Thanks for talking to us. The General Secretary of the ANC Youth League, Njabulo Nzuza, on the line, addressing some of the comments of that movement that want to see the ANC Youth League disbanded as a matter of urgency. The leaders are too old, and this conference should have already been held in September last year. All right. Rob Byrne, what's happening?